Rexluna here after forever. I'm doing a video today on how I made my cowl for Morrigan from Dragon Age Origins. I'm remaking probably 95% of that costume for, I don't really know what convention, probably sometime in the next 6 months or so. So as I work on certain pieces of it, I'll probably make videos for most of it. So, as I said, today we're going to do the cowl. It's not very precise exactly, the art of making it. I kind of just made it up by accident one day because I was having a lot of trouble figuring it out. Nowadays, the cowl neck kind of thing is really in these days, so if this was my first time making it, I'd probably go out and find or buy something that had a similar neck and rip it apart and just kind of figure out what to do from there, but that didn't exist at the time, so I just kind of got fed up and messed around with the fabric and then figured it out. So that might not really work for everybody. I hope it works for you, whoever's watching and is trying to learn. I did write a tutorial and kind of crappily draw out some pictures, so if me explaining it doesn't work, maybe the pictures and words might, I don't know. But I hope those of you who didn't know how to do this will see it and decide to cosplay Morrigan, because we totally need to spread more Morrigan love out in the world because she's freaking awesome. Anyway, so first you need some fabric, and it's kind of going to vary person to person, but not really, because what's more important is the how far down the cowl, the draping of the cowl is going to go, more than like how much it goes around your body. So all you really need to do is like unwrap some fabric from a bolt and go, this looks about right, and then just cut some. So I think this is 1.5 yards. I mean, it looks like 1.5 yards. I got it forever ago, I don't remember. This is a 4-way stretch fabric that I got from Joann Fabrics in a deep purple, because I'm going more for the concept art version Morrigan this time than the in-game version. It's a little bit heavy, so I don't know if this is really gonna work quite as well as I would hope, but at least the color will be what I want. I don't know, I hope the lighting isn't too bright. I hope it shows the color, because it's pretty. I really like it. So yes, you need your fabric. That's the most important part. Measuring tape is always good, although like I said, it's not very precise art, so it's not really as important, but you should have it anyway. And some scissors. Super important. You could probably actually sew this by hand, but a machine will obviously make it faster. So a sewing machine and or sewing needles and matching thread is really all you need for this. The only other thing that you really need depends on how you want to do the back. In my original cowl, I put grommets in the back and did lacing, because that's what it looked like sort of in the in-game version. I don't know yet what I'm going to do for the back of this one. I'm trying to figure out what the concept version is doing, and it looks really wacky. A lot of people just do a strip of this fabric around the middle and don't even worry about fastening. But I'm going for like super accuracy for the picture, which means the only way I'll wear this is with a buttload of tape, and there's no way to just put it on and have it stay there. So it's really up to you if you want to have it be taped on, or if you want to be able to just put it on and not worry about it. So you can alter this design any way you want, obviously. I don't care what you do. This is just to help. So let's get started. Alright, so I'm hoping you guys can see everything, because this fabric takes up a ton of space. It's like 60 inches wide. So first off, you want to make sure your fabric is folded on its fold, and make sure the fold is straight, which this is pretty straight, so I'm going to kind of leave it as is. In most cases, you're going to want to cut off the selvage. You're only losing 1 inch, maybe 2, and honestly that's not really going to be an issue, and in some cases you might even have to cut more if the fabric is too wide. So yes, we're going to cut our selvage off. You can mark it with a ruler if you want, if you're worried about it not being straight, but I'm not, because like I said, it's not really super important. It's not going to show. Now, as you saw, I had a little trouble at the end there. Knits can be a little unruly if you haven't worked with them, so keep that in mind. Now, if you don't use a knit, Sorry, I get out of breath really easy. If you don't use a knit, or depending on the kind of knit you use, usually there's a right side or a wrong side. In this case, there is not really a right or a wrong side, so this isn't necessarily a problem, but just in case, if you are using a fabric that has a definite right or wrong side, make sure that you're putting the two right sides together at all times. Because for most of these steps, it's just easier to start that way. You don't have to think about it. So we're pretending for right now I have the right sides together because in my case it doesn't matter. Ugh. Okay. Normally I would iron this, but I kind of don't really feel like it right now, so do as I say, not as I do. I'm not leading by example at the moment. It's a little too warm in here right now. Now, since this is such a forgiving kind of way of doing this, you don't have to be too concerned about making it perfect the first time. So it's a little easier to just kind of start with what you think will work, and then if it doesn't work, just kind of keep going. So I know that didn't make a lot of sense, but what you're going to do is give yourself a few inches at the bottom of what you think will be wide enough on you, and that's going to vary from person to person. So you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm measuring on myself what I think, looking at the front, will be enough. And I'm giving myself a couple extra inches just to be safe, because it is going to kind of fold up. So I'm going to pretend I'm giving myself way too much just because I've not used this fabric and I have no idea what's going to happen. I'm going to say 12 inches. It's going to be alright. So I'm going to fold it in half. It's getting all sorts of stuff on my carpet. This way. This fabric was not cut very straight, but that's okay. Flatten this out. And from here I'm gonna go 6 inches. Oh, should have mentioned you should probably get some form of marking chalk or pen or something. Go grab that. Alright, so, and since this is the wrong side, it doesn't really matter, so just marking about where 6 inches is here. Doesn't show so great on here, that's okay. So cutting through all the layers of fabric here, cutting a little out here, I'm just going to start from this line and cut kind of a round curve, sort of from here up to this corner, if that makes sense. You'll see. Okay, so now when you unfold it, you get this funky little UV weird, I don't know, shape. So, now you hold it up to yourself and see what happens when that drapes on you. When you hold the back pieces together about, say, like this much, a couple inches over each other, because you have to keep in mind you're going to be sewing these parts together, so you want to give yourself enough space, assuming that they're sewn together. Now in this case, this fabric is so wide that this hangs down like almost to my knees. So, if that happens to you, what you're going to want to do is just pull on this until the bottom part hangs where you want it to, and then just hold it. I'm really bad at explaining, I'm sorry. Trying to keep it centered. There we go, okay. Jeez, this fabric is huge. So I have to lose this much on this fabric to get it to hang in the right spot for me. Oh, that's frustrating. Okay, so I was lucky last time the fabric wasn't as deep before. I can actually just keep it straight. So if this happens to you, what you're going to do is start from here and do kind of a similar thing. Just cut a little bit of a curve out here, just a little bit at a time, until it hangs where you want it to hang. So that's what we're going to do. But we're going to fold it in half every time because we want it to be even, obviously, on both sides. Try and get it even here. I mean, it doesn't have to be completely perfect because we are going to be sewing it up, and that'll fix it up a bit. I'm not the biggest perfectionist when it comes to sewing, even though I know I probably should be. Start down a little bit to lose some of that space anyway. So you see what I mean by not precise? I just totally eyeball it, make up some random curve and see if it works. Let's try this. Getting there. Okay, finally got a completed shape, which as you can see, I had to trim down quite a bit. And I know this doesn't look like a cowl at all, like it shouldn't look like it works, but I'll show you in a second why this will work. Or not why this will work, but I'll show you that it works. Now, depending on the fabric, each fabric's going to drape differently. So for example, the fabric that I used the first time, I actually had like a straight line right here, a curve down here, it stayed connected at the bottom like this, actually it was a little farther down. That was it, it was totally fine. I didn't have to cut it 7 times like I did this one, and it worked totally the same look as this one did. It was really crazy. So yeah, I'll show you what this looks like over the shirt I'm wearing, and you'll kind of get an idea of how it's gonna look. So I know you can't really tell, you might be able to see on the front a little bit, but I don't know. So this is vaguely how it's gonna end up looking on me, although the safety pin isn't really doing a great job holding the weight properly, but yeah, that funky shape comes out to about how I want this to look in the end, cowl-wise, draping-wise, whatever. So don't let the shape deceive you. It's pretty simple to alter the shape to have whatever look you want, because like I said, the first cowl I made was a straight line, kind of a V shape, and then the round part at the bottom where the fold was still there, and it was almost the same look, just a little bit more volume because of the fabric, but just completely different shape, but still the same basic idea. So, I mean, really all you need to do is very small pieces that you cut off little at a time until you get what you want. So, all you need to do to finish this off, which I'm not going to show you because I'm making this video too long anyway, is keep this piece how it is, because you've already got the right sides in, I'm getting this all tangled up. It's just sew along these edges from this folded corner piece. I hope you can see this. Start from this folded corner piece all the way to this edge here. It's a pretty safety pin. And do that on the other open side, all the way around. And then do that on the other open edge. But near the top, leave about this much space from the edge to here, or maybe not quite from the edge, maybe from here to here, leave it open. And then what you're going to do after you sew it is flip the whole thing inside out. And then you're going to hand sew that little gap closed. So then you're going to have this nice closed edge all the way around, and you're still going to have the same look, but the edge will be closed and it'll look all nice. And then next time, because I made this a long video, and because none of my scrap pieces are big enough for the hood, although this is almost close, next time I'll show you what I did for the hood, which is really simple, so hopefully that won't be a long video, but yes, the hood will be next time. And then we'll also do the back piece, which is a really quick thing as well, which I might be able to get out of my scrap pieces. So thank you for watching. I hope this helped. If you have any questions, just ask me, and I will answer it if I can. Thank you. Bye.